Hi, I'm Corbin Green, and this is Crash Course U.S. History. Today we're going to be learning about the 1910s, a time of great progressivism, women's suffrage movements, war, and even Oreos.
Mr. Green, Oreo is actually a copycat, and Hydrox is better.
Yes, mate from the past. Hydrox was invented in 1908, a full 4 years before Oreo was created. But seriously, who wants to eat a cookie called Hydrox? Progressive politics, in short, is advocacy for social reform. During this time, under Progressive President Woodrow Wilson, many social reforms would be made, such as the Clayton Act, which allowed unions to strike easier, Keaton-Owing Act, which outlawed child labor in manufacturing, and the Adamsons Act, which made railroad workers only have to work 8 hours a day. Although women's suffrage and prohibition wouldn't be granted in 1920, their movements were gaining much-needed attention. Except for prohibition, because it was in fact the worst thing to ever happen in the United States. Well, maybe top 10 worst thing to ever happen in the United States. Even with all this progressive politics, people were still able to find leisure. Common recreational activities and leisure practiced by people were circuses, vaudeville shows, and even motion pictures. Parks and local parks were gaining more attention, where people could enjoy such activities as roller coasters, beach bathing, and hiking. Watching sports were also huge for the time.
Wait, it's time for the mystery document?
Rules here are simple. I either get the author right to the mystery document, or I get shocked by the shock pen. Alright, let's see what we got here. As one of the honest ball players of the Chicago White Sox team of 1919, I feel that you were deprived of the winner's share of the World Series receipts through no fault of yours. I do not intend that you, as an honest ball player, should be penalized for your honesty, or suffer by reason of dishonesty of others. Yeah, I have no clue. White Sox, 1910. Must be Black Sox. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the shot in the dark here. Good old Uncle Bill, William Callaway. Charles Kimsicki under the White Sox? Yes, Stan, I'm not really surprised. Ow. John, come here. John, I know it's not real. John, I know the pen's not real! Anyway, the Black Sox scandal of 1919 was a scandal in which players from the White Sox team would conspire with underground crime and gamblers to throw the World Series against the Reds. The Reds would of course end up winning the World Series, and the players involved with the scandal would lose eligibility in being in the Hall of Fame. Now let's talk about World War I and Americanization. Stan, cue the Libertage!
America!
At the outbreak of World War I, German immigrants were in support of Germany, but as the atrocities continued to show, the less German support there was. This led to what is called Americanization. Let's go to the thought bubble. Americanization is where we turn German things and give them American names. This was mainly because no one wanted to be associated with the Germans. Pretzels would be taken off school lunch menus, German business owners would change names, and hamburgers would become Liberty sandwiches. Thanks, thought bubble. To sum it all up, there was a lot of anti-German sentiment during World War I. The main goal of all this propaganda was for us to join the war against the Germans. This is not the point of the crash course where I'd end the video and allude to what I'm going to cover next week. But sadly, I'm not going to cover anything next week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you, well, never, I guess. Crash Course is produced and directed by Corbin Andrews. Our script supervisor is Corbin Andrews. The associate producer is Corbin Andrews. Our show is written by Google and Wikipedia, and our graphics team is myself. I'm sure you guys could tell. Any questions about today's video, please be sure to leave those in the comments, where I'm sure I'll give you a AI-generated answer. Crash Course, and as they say in my hometown, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.